Oh, it is cold outside, so we've got a fire and we've got coffee. Hey there, everyone. Welcome. And if you're watching this on the day it's published, happy Thanksgiving 2021. Personally, I cannot wait to stuff my face later. You know, the world is still pretty crazy, but it's actually been a great year. We've been doing projects around the house on the channel, getting into off-roading, spending time with family and friends, and having the pleasure of sharing all that with you. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't explain how all of this is possible. I've had 2 friends commit suicide this year. It's been incredibly tragic and sad. It also hits home because that could have easily been me. Last summer, I was in the worst rut of depression I've ever experienced in my life. I felt like a complete failure. Because of lockdowns and things, I hadn't worked in months. I'd been self-employed doing video production, but everything was gone. Everything was canceled. I'd also hurt my back while on my last large business trip in mid-March, and was out of state, came back, and I was in horrible pain. That injury made it difficult for me to walk and nearly impossible to sleep through the night. For those of you who are interested, my issue is called lumbar radiculopathy. I have 2 bad discs in my spine that compress on the nerve every time they're inflamed, and that sends shooting pain in my lower back and down my left leg. At the time, with everything going on back then in March, April, I wasn't able to see a specialist because it wasn't considered serious enough. I was given painkillers, but they didn't really work or give me much relief, but they did fog my mind and make it incredibly difficult to think. All these things combined, the physical pain, the lack of any income coming in, being stuck at home, drug issues, just making my brain just not really work, combined with watching my kids suffer, schools being closed, that kind of thing, and my wife suffer, who works as a nurse, and she was dealing with patients, and it was a scary time, and it all kind of combined, and it was just too much for me to handle. For some reason, though, early August last year, I sat down one night with my phone and recorded my thoughts. So it's been tough. It's been really tough, and it's hard not to give up. It's hard not to want to give up. Essential versus non-essential, and I'll tell you, I am considered as unessential as it gets, and it's incredibly difficult to do anything. To be honest with you all a little bit, you know, I've made a lot of lawn care videos recently because my 2 most popular and profitable videos are lawn care videos, so I tried to kind of recreate that. At least as of August 2020, those videos have not picked up. They've not made any money really, like, you know, $20, $40 or something, I don't know. Not much. I feel sad. Sometimes I feel angry. Sometimes I feel depressed. Sometimes I feel, I don't know, I think sad, angry, or depressed, those just kind of rotate in and out. I'm going to be honest with you. The only reason I'm still here is because God protected me. He protected me with my friends. I had friends from far and wide. They would call, they'd text, see how I'm doing. Friends locally here would come over to my house. You're not supposed to. They would hang out with me for hours. They'd listen to me vent. They'd try to make me laugh. God began working in my heart at this time, along with my wife, bravely insisting that I seek professional help. I got vital advice and comfort and prayer from my pastors in my church, from my doctor. While at the doctor's office, he just, we did the check-in, probably wrote me a prescription for something new and said, "Hey, can I pray for you?" Which was a surprise because I wasn't expecting that. And my parents, I'm sure, prayed for me every day. During this time, I couldn't walk without pain, but I could ride a bike. It didn't irritate the nerves for some reason. So I'd go up to a local trail. I'd stop up there and I'd look towards the Cascade Mountains and I prayed to Jesus for relief. And I do that nearly every day, praying for relief, praying for help. And I kept doing this day after day. I would then start praying for other people. I first started praying for my kids, then I prayed for my wife. As time went on, I'd pray for my friends. I'd pray for my extended family. I'd pray for my town, just seeing all these other people I knew suffering and having trouble and dealing with all their own issues. And I started praying for them. Out of that, though, came some relief and some gratitude. I'd thank God for my wife's job. As stressful as it was, she still had her job, so we still had something to live on. I thank God for what little money I was making with YouTube. There were still some videos, some old videos were still getting views, and I would thank God for that. And I thanked Him every time a little bit of relief came. Now, I know that this can sound crazy to some, but I'm okay with that. God was there with me, listening to me. I was not talking to myself. He was there, listening to me and comforting me. Whether I was praying up at that trail or in my house or back here in the backyard or wherever I was, He was there. He was there just as much as I am sitting here next to this fire. He was there. Out of the blue, a former coworker contacts me like from 3 jobs ago, and she says, "Jason, I have a job that you need to apply for." It was a full-time, full benefit, work from home video editing job. I went through 3 rounds of Zoom interviews and I was so nervous. I was a nervous wreck, but I made it through those 3 rounds and I got a job offer and I accepted it. And the moment I knew I got that job, my wife and I put our kids in a private school because at the time schools were still closed and distance learning was just 40 minutes a day of interactivity. And I could see the sadness and desperation on my kids' faces as they tried to follow lessons but couldn't. So putting my kids in a real school last fall was a relief just as big, if not bigger, than getting that new job. Flash forward to today, I no longer suffer from depression or suicidal thoughts. My back, while not awesome, actually it's a little stiff today, is manageable. I've been able to resume harder physical activity, even climbing Mount St. Helens this past spring. And God has not stopped working in my heart either. I've been a follower of Jesus since I was a little kid, but I never got baptized. And I finally did that also last spring, something I was too scared to do and too embarrassed to do for 30 years. Not anymore. None of these good things I've mentioned today are because of me or because I'm better than anyone else. My spiritual renewal, my wife, my kids, my job, doing this YouTube channel, all of it are direct gifts from God. There's nothing I could ever do to repay God for what He's done for me. All I can do is say thank you. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith. It is not from yourselves, it is a gift of God, not by works so that no one can boast. So this Thanksgiving, I want to thank all of you. Your support for this cheesy YouTube channel that I started 4 years ago as a joke has been a huge blessing in my life. And to say thank you, I'm going to be donating a month of my YouTube income to my local church. My church has been financially supporting numerous families that recently lost all their income in my area, and because of you, we get to help them. If you're dealing with depression, please seek out professional help. I'd also ask that you consider reading the Bible and praying to God for help. Jesus loves and died for you so that you can be free. And regardless of how low you might feel or what anyone might ever say about you, you are essential. We are all essential. So have a wonderful Thanksgiving and holiday season. The next video you're going to see here on Jason Explains Things is going to be a whole lot less serious than this one, probably trucks driving in the mud or something. So until next time, everyone, God bless, and I call dibs on the apple pie.